Okay, so in order to get a good grey like this, we want to mix some burnt umber and some ultramarine. So that gives us a very nice grey. Some people might say that why don't we use black and white? Well, you know, it's an artist's prerogative. Not mention any names, obviously. So yeah, so I'm making up a nice grey here with that burnt umber and ultramarine. And the way that we're going to tint it with some white, so we want it lighter. So this is my base at the moment. So I've put 3 different layers on here. So I'm just going to add another layer. So we will put some white. I mean, you're free to cover the whole thing, obviously, but I'm obviously for the purposes of the demonstration, I don't want to have to do that. Otherwise, I'll be here all day. So you can make as many different colours as you, different variations of grey as you want to. So I'm just making quite a light one here, and as you can see, it's a lovely grey, very nice grey. And then we're trying to create these brush strokes. We're just trying to create some impasto brush strokes.
It has got different colour baubles and shaped objects in these little trays.
Yes, I love this.
And if you know where your baubles actually going to go, you could always create some shadow around there, but we can pop that in later if we need to. And the good thing with acrylic, you start with dark and then go to light, or you can go light to dark. It's entirely up to you. I've gone dark to light, so put the darkest tone, which is here, on first, and then I've gone lighter and lighter and lighter. So that just sort of peeps through. So that works. And that's that. So what I'm going to do, I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to leave that to dry. It has to be bone dry before we go to the next stage. But like I say, you can cover the whole canvas if you want to. Okay, so now that's dry. I'm going to use some charcoal, and I'm just going to sketch in the picture that you have. So just lightly. I'm just putting a few furs. Is that what they're called? Furs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to leave those in charcoal or paint over them?
Yeah, you'll paint over them. They should be fine. Don't go too mad, you know, obviously don't go too heavy and create some charcoal masterpiece or anything, but and then
Lisa, why are we using charcoal and not pencil?
I don't know. No, I don't know. That's what I've been told, and that's what I'm doing. So I mean, I suppose it's easy, rubber weighable. So I'm just taking some sort of consideration as to where those dark values are, so that these here are those dark values here. I think maybe this is why they suggest doing it in charcoal, perhaps. I don't know, so that you wouldn't really shade in pencil, I suppose, just to find those dark and those light values, and then you can sort of create it in this way. Gosh, I've got to get a wonky circle myself here.
I don't think mine on dry inside.
Maybe we should have worked on 2 alongside each other, Lisa.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
And we should have done the background first and then done this. Yeah.
Really, what I should have done before break was got you to do the background, maybe.
Yeah.
That's sorry. It's difficult to sort of gauge, especially from here. So I hope everyone's okay. You know, I know it's not perfect, but I hope it's better than nothing.
Pair of boobs, that Lisa.
Sorry, it does, doesn't it? You've got a very wicked mind, Carol Brown. Honestly.
It's the only one that was prepared to say it.
You just say what everyone's thinking, is that right?
That was a thought.
You know, this is going on YouTube, like, you know, this is going all over the world, but never mind.
Sorry, love.
So once you've got that charcoal, once you've got that in place, then you can start mixing your colours. So with this, here's one I made earlier. I've gone in with the dark colours first. So because it's going to be in pasto, we want it obviously thick, very minimum water. I've got a feeling my Amazon delivery has just arrived. Sorry about this, if I have to disappear for one sec, unless Chris can hear them from the garage. So I just need to mix up those colours. So I don't know, do you want me to do that now, or while everything's drying, or do you want to get that charcoal down and then we?
They're still too wet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll just crack on then. I'll just crack on. So what red has everybody got?
Two lots of red.
Okay. Well, you can choose whichever colour you like, because this is sort of hypothetical anyway. Unless you are going to do your. Excuse me for a second. Can you just excuse me? I'm so sorry about this. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry about that. So sorry about that. So I'm going to make up like a dark red. So if I look at this sheet again, I think, oh, what would be a nice sort of darkish red? I think I'd go somewhere, well, possibly on the crimson scale here, maybe a little bit of green mixed in there. So that's what I'm going to do. I mean, there is no hard and fast rule really with this. You can do the bauble, or you can do the trees. It's entirely up to you. It doesn't really matter which way around you go.
What sort of effect does the charcoal have on your colour?
It doesn't really. It sort of just disappears as long as you haven't put it on too thick. Well, I'm hoping it's going to disappear. The first one did, so I'm hoping that's what's going to happen here, Jay. And it's based, when we did the drawing, didn't we, of the cylinder. Did we do that? Yeah, we did the drawing of the cylinders and the spheres. So it's sort of like relating to that really, getting those dark values in early.
Mine's getting dry actually. Yeah, you see, you're like I'm on the make-up. You always see them doing this, don't you? Wafting their cake. Quite like the stuff in it.
Yes, I put some extra bits. Yeah, it's really nice.
Oh, I love the shape of it. It's wonderful. I like the fact that it's uneven line. Oh, you do? Yeah. I think you'll feel so there.
So I'm just getting those dark values. I'm going to feel that they're dark really. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this grey colour to it as well.
So what you doing now?
Okay, so I'm just putting the dark value in. So this dark value here, I'm just putting that in first. So we've got that.
Yeah, it just looks black, doesn't it?
Does it look black? Does it?
Yeah.
I have got another light just in case of such matters. 1 second.
So what colour is it, Lisa?
It is. It's the crimson with a bit of burnt umber. And what I've done, I didn't think it was dark enough, so I've just added a bit of that, the darkest grey as well, so the burnt umber, ultramarine, just to darken that up. Sorry, so can you see my head? Sorry, is my head in the way? And then I want to go in with just some of the light, the sort of mid-tones, but I want them to mix. I can't see it very well because of that light now, but I want them to mix together. So I want to create a very sort of gradual gradient. You can go back all the time, with acrylic, it's quite good. As long as it remains open and it remains wet, then you're okay. You want to keep these, I want to know where I'm going to add the white. So I'm sort of keeping those there at the moment. So I can go back, I can put a little bit more of this sort of darkish colour. You can't really see it very well, can you, at all? Like, so I've got this light. I don't know if that's going to be
better.
Yeah?
No.
Okay.
That's better.
Right, I'll try and hold it here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we can see now.
Yeah? I can't see the thing, but I can see it on the I can see it on the camera, so I'm going to work a little bit. So what's it called when you that hand to mouth sort of coordination? Hand to mouth, hand to eye coordination.
Hands wide.
Yeah, well, yeah, it looks a bit wonky on there, but it is actually quite cylindrical. And then just keep going in. So you don't want any water on your brush. You want to make sure that you are layering this on nice and thick. Can you see those?
No water.
No water, no. Can you see those brush strokes? Can you see them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want that basically. So I'm just whacking on this vermilion colour, the sort of the bright reddish colour, and you want to create that sphere. Okay, so and then I'm going to go in. Sorry, just want to find my white. And then I'm going to go in with some white, but obviously I'll have to clean my brush for that. So give it in. Your brush might be a little bit wet, don't get me wrong, because you're going to have to clean it, but you know, just dab it off like we did in the first exercise. And then just go in with some white, and then start. Can you see that? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then put that in, and then you can start taking that around and mixing it. Yeah, it's a bit like oil painting, really. Yeah. So you want those sort of spots to be. Am I doing it right? I can't tell. I can't see. So sorry. And just keep working on it. You can keep working as long as it stays open. That's what you want. That you want that to happen. Add a little bit more red. Like I say, it's a bit difficult to sort of teach you to do this. I can just point you in the right direction because it's entirely up to you which bauble you're going to use, what colour. But can you see that's starting to become a little bit more metallic? It's starting to become round. Can everybody see that, or am I just? Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Oh, there's a bit there. Sorry, I can't. That's too glowy. Laura. So just keep layering it up all the time. Just layer it up, and you want eventually to get this sort of cylindrical look. Spherical, but with a gradient, with a nice sort of gradation going on. Okay. So is that okay? So once that's done as well. So once you've actually got to that level, then just add a little bit more. You can add more highlights with, once it's dried off, you can add more highlights if you want to with the white. The beauty about acrylic is that it doesn't, it's not as prejudiced as watercolor, obviously, to the user. So you can go back in. It's much more forgiving, I think. I know it dries quick, but it's good stuff. Okay, so is that all right? Is that okay? So what I'll do whilst that's drying, I will go into the, I'll mix up some greens for the fur, and then just dot those in. So if it's dry, I'd get on with the bauble if you want to, but it's very simple. All I'm going to do, I'm going to create this green, which I should mix with, I should mix it with a proper green, but I'm not going to. Because I'm demonstrating, sorry, I've got to be quick. So I'm just going to use this sap green at the moment, and then just darken it up with this burnt umber mix here.
She's used sap green, but we'll be mixing that.
Yeah, I'm just using that burnt umber ultramarine mix just to get a nice dark green.
We need a blob of green, I think.
Can you see that green sort of coming?
She only put a bit of the burnt umber in. She started off with green. I thought she said she was only doing it for demonstration purposes.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I have to say that. But if you did use the, I'm not going to get. Oh, you haven't got it. You haven't got this set, have you? So yeah.
Caddy and green mixed up, Lisa.
Sorry.
You've got caddy and green already.
Yeah, I mean, mix it up if you can, but if you really don't want to, don't worry. You know, Jackie's a lot nicer than I am, so she'll let you off. You know, she'll fold far quicker than me. So all I'm doing here is using the edge of my brush, and I'm just dabbing it on. Okay, can everyone see that? Can everyone see that happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just dabbing it on. I won't do the whole thing. I'm just going to do a section. But it's entirely up to you. I mean, you know, keep going with this exercise, or you know, choose another bauble. It's fine.
Yeah. And I didn't take anybody else's to try. I'm going to go to the hairdryer. Well, can you do 3 at once?
Well, there's 2 toilets.
Oh, I'll come do one.
One will have to use the men's, but the same Roy, so we'll keep Roy here.
Can I take yours, Roy? Do you want me to dry yours?
No, it's all right. It's fine. Thank you, Jenny.
Anybody else? Where's the little boys?
Mine's
dry.
It's next door to the ladies, isn't it? Another one on the ticket. 351 for the ladies. And then you just keep walking a bit further and it's 350. Could you pass me that one? Okay.
So can everybody see that? Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's I'll leave that there. I'll let you catch up. If you're doing this, obviously, if you're not, because the only thing we've got to do after this is deal with the gold. I don't even know what is that got a name. Jackie, you're Mrs. Christmas. What's that called?
I don't know. The hanging bit
Okay.
of the bauble. I don't know.
The top bit of the bauble.
Call it the gold crown. That's nice.
Yeah, the gold crown, and then just put your few tips in there. So yeah. So shall I let you carry on with that?
Yeah. I think we need time to catch up because 2 people are in the loo drying. So.
Are they now? Okay. Well, I tell you, give me a shout when you want to go to the next stage.
Okay.
Okay, Jackie. Thank you. So for the gold crown, we need some yellow ochre, and we'll just stick this on all over with a dryish brush. The brush isn't dry enough.
Oh, thank you.
Actually, I'm going to use a round brush for this because I need to get a little bit higher and wood. No.
It looks a bit suspect, doesn't it? That makes
So just paint it all over with the yellow ochre. You know, forgetting about the top. Obviously, we'll come back and revisit that in a minute.
Is it just the yellow or the ochre or both?
Just the yellow ochre, yeah.
Just the yellow.
Yeah, there must be yellow.
I must do yellow.
And just make it a little bit curved on the bottom so it comes towards you slightly. And with our old favourite, that first colour that we use, actually I use a very small brush for this. And we make 4. Can everybody see that okay? And on the top, while it's still wet, so we sort of working wetting wet. And on the top, then we just add a little bit of burnt umber.
Thank you.
And then what we'll do, we'll go in with, we'll just mix a little touch, mix some white with just a touch of the yellow ochre, just to give a couple of highlights. Just dot these on. It's apart from Alison, if you join from life, then maybe you'll be able to see, so that they're sort of hypothetical, really. So that gives it a little bit of a three-dimensional look with a couple of glistens on there. I will, though, however, just darken up that there. Okay, so that's how you do that little crown. So while I think this is dry, so while we're doing this, I'll just show you something else to enhance the fir tree, fir, yes. So we need to make a green, another green, using the ultramarine and yellow, but this time it'll look a lot lighter than we've done before. And then we'll mix it with a little bit of white as well. So I'm just going to use the ochre. If you miss anything, just let me know as well, because I'll go back over it. So, and then we just dot the tips, not all the needles, but I can't actually see very well here. Just to give it a little bit more sort of 3D. I don't think I mixed very much there. When you do mix a green, just to let you know that it normally needs more yellow than it does blue, because yellow is a little bit of a lighter hue. Is that showing up? Are these highlights showing up? Can anyone see them? Yeah.
So that's the grey again, is it? Hmm? Is that the grey again?
And once you've done the those tips, let them dry a little bit because they won't take very long to dry because you've only just sort of stippled them on briefly. We'll take the thin brush. I've got two. That you've got something similar. You might have a 1. I can't remember what Jackie put out for you now. A 1 or a 0. And we need the usual burnt sienna and a little bit of yellow ochre. That's not there, that's good. So you want one little bit that is a bit darker and one side that's a little bit lighter, and I'll show you why in a moment. And then you just want to sort of stop and start. You don't want it to be continuous, obviously, because you want to give the illusion that sometimes it's covered by some of the pine needles. And then once you've done that, you got any white left? Doesn't look like I have. Make that branch a little bit more natural just by putting these little highlights in there. And then we'll just go over with a little bit of white to make them a little bit more sparkly. So just mix that white with that lighter colour and just a couple of dots. And if you feel that this this isn't spherical enough, then just do go over it with some of that grey that's in the background. I mean, it might have dried by now, but you can always mix up a little bit more. Let's see if mine's dried. It's not too bad. Where can I see? I can see a little bit of a stray hair there, and by here. And that's it. That's the bauble.